Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the timeless wisdom of Morihei Ueshiba's The Art of Peace. It's this incredible guide that totally redefines what it means to be a warrior, and, maybe more importantly, how to find some harmony in this pretty chaotic world.
Okay, this quote right here, it gets straight to the heart of the whole thing. Ueshiba is telling us that peace isn't something you go out and find. It's not some quiet place or a perfect situation. It's an internal state, something you have to build inside yourself first. Only then can you even hope to see it in the world around you.
So, that brings us to our first section. It begins with you. The very first step on this path isn't to look outward and get overwhelmed by all the world's problems. Nope. It's about turning inward. It's about getting to work on yourself and whatever your own task is. So, according to Ueshiba, our main purpose in life, our real job, isn't about chasing fame or money or power. It's this deep internal journey. You can kind of think of it like peeling back all these layers of ego and distraction to find and connect with that enlightened core he believed is inside every single one of us.
And here's a really crucial point. This isn't just some personal philosophy. It's actually presented as a medicine for a sick world. Ueshiba believed that all the conflict we see, all the disorder, it exists for one reason. We've forgotten that we all come from the same source. So by returning to that source within ourselves, we don't just heal our own lives, we actually start to heal the world.
Now, this is a really powerful and, honestly, a pretty challenging idea. True emptiness here. It doesn't mean having nothing or being vacant. It means emptying yourself of all the internal noise. The self-centered thoughts, the petty little desires, the anger, that constant need to be right. It's only from that place of inner quiet that real peace can even begin to grow.
Okay, so let's move to the next layer and see how this all builds. Once we start doing that internal work, the focus starts to expand. It goes from just the self to our connection with absolutely everything. This right here is the foundation of Ueshiba's entire worldview. He saw no real separation between you, me, a tree, or even a star. In his eyes, everything is part of this single, flowing, interconnected life force. It's all one big family, and really getting that is fundamental to the art of peace.
And I love this part, because it shows how we can actually tap into that universal energy. These aren't just poetic ideas. Ueshiba taught that we can literally draw strength and stability from the world around us, from the sun, the earth, the tides, by consciously aligning ourselves with these massive elemental forces.
And then there are these dynamic forces that are always in balance, holding the universe together. Think of them as the universe's natural push and pull. The goal isn't to fight them or resist them, it's to learn how to harmonize with them, to find our own balance within these constant back and forths, just like nature does.
All right, Section 3, the way of the warrior. Now, this is where the philosophy really flips the script on our typical image of what a warrior is, because it has nothing to do with aggression or being dominant. I mean, what a radical shift in thinking. Victory in the art of peace isn't about beating some opponent in front of you. It's about defeating the mind of contention itself, that need to fight that lives inside you. I mean, think about it. If you have nothing to prove and no one to fight, how can you possibly be defeated? Ueshiba really reclaims the term samurai here, taking it back to its essence. He argues that its true meaning isn't about being a fighter, but being a protector. A warrior's whole purpose is to serve the power of love by putting a stop to all the fighting and strife, not by creating more of it.
And these 4 virtues, they're the bedrock of this new warrior's mindset. Your strength doesn't come from a sharp sword. It comes from the fire of bravery, the clarity of wisdom, the grounding of love, and the adaptability of friendship. It's a total shift to focusing on inner character instead of outer aggression.
So this all sounds really profound, right? But how do we actually do it? How do we translate these big ideas into things we can do every single day? Let's get into the practical side of things.
Well, Ueshiba gives us this surprisingly simple 3-step guide for a daily practice. It all starts with just calming your spirit, getting centered. Then, you actively work on purifying your intentions, letting go of malice and petty desires. And finally, you cultivate this deep sense of gratitude for everything. That's the core routine. To really perform well in, anything in life, you have to understand your own energy, or what he calls ki. The goal is to consciously move away from that heavy, coarse, stagnant energy that comes from fear and anger, and instead fill yourself with true ki, an energy that's light, versatile, and just flows freely.
And here's how this applies in a direct conflict. The key is to never meet force with more force. That just creates more violence. The art is to blend with an attacker's energy, to redirect it, and to neutralize the aggression without having to cause any harm. It's all about control, not destruction.
You know, when it comes right down to it, the entire philosophy, every single technique, every meditation, it all boils down to this one powerful takeaway. The only battle that truly matters is the one you fight against your own limitations, your own anger, your own ego. That is the only victory that's really worth winning.
And that leaves us with one last thing to ponder. It's a complete 180 from how our culture usually thinks about conflict and struggle and success. Just ask yourself, what if true strength isn't about pushing back harder, but about finding a state of mind where there's nothing to push against in the first place?